expense cap on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I took that off already.
Okay, we are open to the public, there's no public here. Minutes of the meeting, the previous meeting from June 1st, are there any errors or omissions noted?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as read.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
The bills, any additions, our son?
We have three of them this evening. First one is the Conica Minolta Premier Finance. That's the copier lease and maintenance for the copier. In the amount of $309.47. Next one's the New York Power Authority, the monthly bill, $45,643.73. And the last one is Twin State for $202.46, which is the monthly bill for the ESP server.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills as written and as stated.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, pay the bills. Is there any correspondence?
No.
Okay. I'd like to discuss the Recreation Center grant update, bring everybody up to date on what's going on. The grant that was awarded was for the amount of $213,000 plus a village in-kind matching contribution of $78,000. This in-kind match can include any combination of village labor, use of equipment and material, and funds. But we have to spend $78,000 in one of those categories to match, to get the full amount from the state. To date, we have completed the playground, the required engineering study, and earmarked grant funds for the tennis and basketball court resurfacing. And we did that last November 18th. I wondered why it hadn't been done, and the reason it hadn't been done was because it can't be done until the new fence posts are put in, reset. They put those in, then they resurface it. We received only one bid for the overall project, which was fencing, soccer field upgrading, ball field renovations, completion of the fitness trail, and paving the parking lot expansion. That bid was $390,000, clearly out of our reach. I've discussed possible alternatives with our consultant, Steve Peters, and he reworked the scope of the project with Fuller, the bidder, and he recommends that we contract with them to do both ball field renovations for $67,750, and the fencing, which includes the ball fields, new backstops, tennis and pickleball courts, for $60,000. This totals $127,500, about $25,000 over the remaining grant balance. You know. Let me see here. Okay, you all have the Fuller bid in front of you. It says what they're gonna do. Apparently, the work on the ball fields is a lot more extensive than we knew. It has to be skimmed down 6 inches. They have to put new clay under everything, and they have to put topsoil back on top of it. And apparently it's a real mess. And that's gonna be fixed and should last a long time after that, because it's the first time it's been done in 40 years. The soccer fields, we're not gonna do them in this grant or this year. We can seek another grant next year maybe for it. In the meantime, the rec crew is gonna try to work on it a little bit at a time with, you know, leveling with topsoil here and there and trying to do some turf aerating, stuff like that. But apparently that's a really big job, and it needs to be addressed separately if we're gonna do any of this stuff at all. Now the village is doing the parking lot expansion, and I met with Jason, the electric department, and Jared are doing the bulk of that work to take the load off the public works department, who is trying to complete the sidewalks and had intended to have the whole sidewalk project done by this Friday, but they got a call this morning from the county that the county wanted to know if they could come in and pave the front parking lot of the rec center tomorrow. So that's a really, really good deal for the village, because all we have to do is pay for the asphalt, which is budgeted. It has nothing to do with the grant, but it just threw off the schedule for public works. So I've talked to Public Works, the electric department, and the rec department, and they're all gonna work together on this stuff, and try to get these things worked out. Rec department may loan a man to one of the other departments. They may need a a different kind of a worker from Public Works to do something down here with the parking lot or the drainage or something. So they're all looking like they're gonna work together, and it looks like it's gonna go good for the next few weeks. As soon as they're done with the sidewalks, they're gonna start on Academy Street curbs, as far as I know, unless something else comes up. So,
Just one thing on, once they get the parking lot done, are we gonna have somebody paint the lines?
Oh, I got that underneath my thing here.
well, we can discuss that, find out, we didn't know when we were gonna get it paved.
Right.
I mean, we knew it was gonna get paved this year, but we didn't know when, so it's
Yeah.
kind of sudden, I just found out about it this morning.
Well, we
so-
were gonna have Shinbear do the lines, what, year?
Last year.
Yeah, but then we decided it would be not,
Right.
because we're gonna pave it over anyway,
Yeah.
so,
So
we're just gonna do the front roll, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's not a big deal, I
yeah,
don't
because
think.
they put the handicap on it in and stuff like that.
Okay,
I
so,
got one thing on the excavation here, on Fuller. I see where they're taking out 6 inches of soil and stuff. You think we ought to keep that soil instead of letting them haul it away?
well, they're not gonna haul it away, they're just moving it out. I mean, they'll dump it here someplace.
Well, it says dispose of it, they're disposing of it, and of the material.
Yeah, that's so we don't have to haul it across the street. I can look into it, but I'm sure that they're just gonna dump it over in the village pile, they don't want it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, make sure of that, that's.
yeah, that's pretty good soil, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mention that to Ethan tomorrow, or whenever we see him. Okay,
I would assume that's gonna be better for them anyway, they don't have to take it as far as.
Yeah. Now, the village is doing a parking lot expansion, as I just said, and should separately contract, we need to separately contract the remaining dugout and those 2 figurines for the front of the building to complete that project. I think we can excavate the remainder of the fitness trail with in-house labor, but we may not pave it this year, but we can at least, see, the way it is now, it ends down here, and then it kind of goes into like an existing old pathway. Well, that old pathway is getting torn up because that's where the new parking lot's going. So, if we have time, we can probably extend it around and make it come out by, I think it's supposed to come out by the tennis courts in a big loop,
Right.
and we'll work on that, so. All of this extra money here, the 25,000 for the thing and the 5,000 for the dugout, and the 2 figurines and everything, that will count towards our 78,000 in-kind matching contribution. So, first, I'd like any discussion from the board on this.
On the dugouts, are we having,
What we have to do is we have to get 2 quotes for putting it up. I spoke to one guy,
I was gonna talk to Junior.
and I talked to him about it, he's supposed to put a quote in, we gotta find somebody else to throw a quote in. And we can do it a couple different ways, we can do like the last one, where only this time we just pay for the labor and we do buy the materials ourselves like we did. Or we can do the whole package and say how much to put a whole new dugout in, But we have some materials on hand, which is why I kinda like us furnishing it, because we have all the roofing left over from last year. The tin.
are you gonna use that old tin?
Well, it was brand new 2 years before. Remember Cody put that on there? And we salvaged it out, and we didn't have enough. I forget how it worked last year. We bought new for this one, and we had enough between the 2 of them to pick out good tin for the other one, right?
I think there was enough, as long as it didn't get damaged
Yeah.
from when they took it off, though, when it just came down.
So, anyway, so what we need, if the board's agreeable to this, we need a motion to award this contract to Fuller for $125,750 and authorize the mayor to sign the contract with them.
Is there anything we can take out to save that extra $27,000?
No.
Or whatever we're over?
Steve looked at these and he said he had done these same projects in Plattsburgh, and he says these are pretty good prices. He says he paid more than that for the similar work in Plattsburgh 4 or 5 years ago. So he thought we were getting a pretty good deal on it.
But, like, I mean, the backstop, do we have to replace the backstops? I mean, I know they're not brand new,
Oh,
but to say.
well, the reason they said that is that apparently these don't meet whoever's standards these are, OSHA or whoever it is, and we're just kinda grandfathered in because they're old ones, but he says, you know, like the bleachers. We had 5-tier bleachers, and without railings or backs on them, those are not legal to use them anymore. So we cut them down to 3 level, which are. And I think he explained to me the fencing was in that same category, because I didn't realize that backstop fencing was gonna be in there when we talked about it last year.
I'll make a motion that we accept a bid from Stephen Fuller Excavating for $125,750.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? We're doing a roll call
Aye.
for that. No, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and I need authorization to sign that, and,
Make a motion to make the mayor sign the Fuller.
Oh, this one, that's
Second.
right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and then by awarding this contract, which is over the 103,000 we have left, we're committed to doing the other 35,000 in it to finish up all these projects. Is that the board's understanding?
Yes.
We had to kick in money anyways.
Right.
So,
Theoretically, if we had enough in-kind work to do, it could have been the whole 78,000, but we just don't have that much to do.
Right.
That's all.
We have
Okay.
enough money in the budget to move around for that?
Yes, yes, I discussed it with the treasurer today.
Okay.
And we're gonna do that, you said we're gonna do that bike path too, to bring it up,
The fitness trail.
or the
Yeah.
fitness trail?
Well, what I'd like to do is in-house labor. We'll dig it out and put the stone in, at least that much.
Right.
And then we'll see where we are with paving and stuff at the, you know, what we got at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because the county won't do that. We have to hire somebody to pave that, I believe.
When you talk to him tomorrow, Tom, ask him for a timeline also.
Oh, yeah, I will. But I thought we gotta get this going quick, because
Well,
otherwise they're gonna
I
be
mean,
too
if-
busy to even do it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, next thing I have resolution 2020-23, a budget modification to correct an error in salary. This is electric fund appropriations, transfers $1,076 from personal services and increases from the appropriated fund balance of the same amount. This resolution shall take effect immediately or retroactively to June 1st, our son?
Yeah.
Okay, so I move that to the floor.
Second?
All in favor? No, I got a
roll call.
roll call. Trustee Arno?
Aye.
Trustee Dart?
Aye.
Trustee Menard?
Aye.
Trustee Gadway?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. And the second resolution I have is Resolution 2020-24. Whereas the national ensign in the village of Rouses Point has been displayed at half-mast for over 2 months by the governor's direction. And whereas the maximum prescribed time for honoring the departed in this manner is 30 days, whereas the North Country has turned to phase 3 in the coronavirus reopening, be it therefore resolved that all American flags on village property will hereby be returned to full staff effective immediately. And I move that to the floor for a second.
Second?
Any discussion? And I will note that this has been,
I called Bob St. John.
approved by,
Bob St. John said it was.
I talked to him about that, I did that.
Yeah.
I talked to him about it the other day, and he said he was more than happy to do this, he thought it was overdue.
Yeah.
So, anyway, did I have a second on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Arnold,
Aye.
trustee Dart,
Aye.
trustee Gadway,
Aye.
trustee Menard,
Aye.
mayor votes aye. That's all I have, trustee Arnold, you have nothing here?
The tree for Connie Antill that she purchased,
Yeah, she's been refunded her money, I believe.
she
The
has.
difference between what she'll get, the tree she'll get, and what she ordered.
Don't know what's the bill. The refund.
Oh, wait a minute, no. Donald Womil said that you weren't getting any trees. Cause we canceled all the trees for the village, right?
No. There was a problem with the deadline being on June first. And the order did not get put in before June first. I put the order in on June first, my first day of work here. They told me that it was too late. So I played the poor me, this is my first day at work, you can't cancel the order, I'll get in trouble. So they worked with the person at the nursery to see if they could get the order in and keep matching it. There was just an issue with a certain tree that they didn't have in the 2.5 that had to be purchased in the 1.5. And that was Bonnie Engel. I called her, I spoke to her, she said that was fine, she'll take 2 of those and get refunded the difference between 1.5 and 2.5. So that's where we stand right now.
Okay, and we're still getting 2 trees for a price of 1
Right,
for the village, okay, because that was what the issue was
That
the
was
last
what the
time,
issue
they
was,
told us they
yes.
weren't gonna do
Because
that.
we,
So we canceled it on that basis that
Right,
we're only
if we
gonna
didn't
get
get-
instead of 2.
right, if we didn't
So
get the
apparently
second
she fixed
tree.
it, so we're getting 2
Oh,
back, okay, so.
Yeah,
all right,
Did
okay.
they cut that tree down yet for Connie?
No,
Okay, I told Jason that last week, but he was on vacation.
okay.
He's gonna take that down.
Okay. What are we doing about do we hear any more about the water plant, property?
They did some surveying up there last week when they were here for the smoke testing.
Yep.
And I believe that they're going to be doing core boring next month.
Okay. I talked to the water plant operators and stuff, and they said that filter is doing really well
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and they really recommend that, the village go along with them, so,
Oh, yeah.
so,
They had a problem with that filter, that the pilot plant was missing a piece in it, or it didn't work.
yeah.
And we didn't get any readings for the first 2 weeks. So I talked to our engineer, and I said, either will the 6 remaining weeks be enough to gather adequate data for the permitting process, or do we have to extend it 2 more weeks, and if we do, make sure that we don't pay for the 2 weeks that we didn't use? And he said, he's already on top of that. He wants to get the full 8 weeks, he's gonna make them extend it 2 more weeks, and we're not paying for it. So, we're on good shape there.
Okay. All right. Did you call ERS to find out about the fence, that they could move it back, or?
Yes, they're gonna put up a new fence, a permanent fence. And that's what they're gonna do, I don't know when they're gonna do it, but they got a fence contractor that's gonna come in and hopefully put that one along Maple Street against the, back up where it needs to be. I told them if they do it before everything gets ruined,
Right.
get some people volunteering to mow it and take care of it for them. But, you can't wait till it all goes to seed, and just,
Right.
and they have to fix the one along Academy Street. I think they wanna get rid of that temporary fencing and put up something more permanent.
All right. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, trustee Dart.
2 things tonight. First thing is, we should have probably taken care of this housekeeping matter, as I call it, when we voted to put Adam in his permanent position. Jason Juno was due at the same time. Is that-
Yeah.
So,
His 6-month probation.
6 months probation is up, so that would be my motion to approve Jason Juno for permanent in his position.
Okay, trustee Gadway, what's your take on this? You're the personnel committee. You second that?
I second that, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay. And I ask the clerk to notify Mr. Juno.
Yep.
In writing. And also, if we haven't done so, Mr. Menard.
Okay.
And I'd like to ask an executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular employee.
Do we need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything else?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Menard?
Nothing really this evening, just, do we need a motion to, are we gonna do the lines ourselves, or are we gonna hire somebody to do the lines in the parking lot? Do we need a motion to?
Well, I'll tell you what we should do. We should probably get some fresh price quotes. We can't do it anyway till the next meeting, because, it's, they're just putting it in tomorrow. We
Right,
can't,
right. But it'd be nice to have it
But
done.
I would say, if your trustee Arnold wants to look into that, get a couple of quotes, and, you know, see what, you know, we'll bring it up at the next board meeting, you know, how much it's gonna cost, and if they can do it, and all that stuff, and if we can afford it, and, you know, the whole routine of buying something.
Last year, I had recommended the first 2 rows, because if you do the second row back, that's gonna line people up
Right.
more for behind that.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
so
like-
if you do just a front row, we're still gonna have that all mismatch of people not parking where they're supposed to. If you do the second row, then you'll get them going.
yeah, it's fine, get those kind of prices. Oh, the other thing, we've had some discussions off and on since we put the sign up on the front of the building, the metal sign, you know, recreation center, no, I wouldn't say recreation, civic center, Rouses Point Civic Center. And we can't see the letters because when we sent those aluminum letters out to be powder coated, the paint chips that we were using were not the same as the powder coat paint chips were, and the powder coat paint chips were darker than what we thought they were gonna be, and they blend into the side of the building too much. So, I talked to Ethan this morning, I talked to Jason who put them up. And I said, first off, it was a good idea to powder coat them, because that, powder coating is, you heat them up in an oven and it sticks onto the aluminum, where I don't think regular paint, you would have real good luck sticking it on, adhering to aluminum. So, what I said was, what I mentioned to Ethan was, what if we painted them with the paint that we have left over from the light stripes, the light color of the stripes for the building, because these are all on dark backgrounds, and it would set it off nicely. And I said, what we could probably do is take down one of the letters that's reversible, like an A, turn it over and see what the back is, and if the back is painted, paint that one to see if it works or not and how we like it. You know, and if it doesn't, we can just put it back on the way it was until we decide. So I'm thinking that might be the way to get that sign more visible.
Wouldn't you have to use the Rust-Oleum paint?
Well, I don't know why, we use the other stuff on the other paint. I mean, you know, the side, it's metal siding paint that we have. You know, that we painted the side of the building with. And the only difference is that if it was bare aluminum, I'd be a little afraid of putting that kind of paint on. I think that was latex paint, I don't know if it would stick, but this has got a good bonded base of paint on it with that powder coating. I'm thinking it might work.
Might as well try it, I think it'll hurt then.
I think it'll look a lot better.
Well, yeah, because like you say, you can't see it.
Well, it's not so bad in the daytime, but the problem is 90% of the activities of this place are in the wintertime when it gets dark at 6 o'clock, you know,
Yeah.
hockey games and all that stuff. And we've put up additional lighting, and that apparently isn't effective, so. So anyways, that's what, I'd like to try that. And it's not gonna cost a penny to do it, because we got the paint on hand, so. Anyway, just to bring it up to date. Trustee Gadway.
I got a couple things. I spoke with Ethan, everything's going good with the rec department, with mowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke with Jan Letourneau, and she's got some rec summer activities going. She's got floor gymnastics is scheduled, that's supposed to start June 29th, run through July 3rd. And they are going to monitor social distancing and disinfecting guidelines before confirming everything. And there's 2 groups, 4 to 5 p.m. is 4 to 7-year-olds, and then 5 to 6 is 8 to 18-year-olds. And then they have Taekwondo, it's anticipated, that's July 20th through July 24th, and lacrosse from August 10th to the 14th. And if the first class is successful, they're gonna move forward with confirming the next 2. And then there's people asking about the library toilet paper investigation. Has anybody heard?
I don't know a thing about it.
Okay.
That was all
Over and done.
done, over and done.
That was all taken care of by the library board.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to find out, 'cause I hadn't heard anything about it, so.
Actually, Benny talked with everyone who had access to a key.
Yep.
Everybody said they didn't do it. We're over and done. There's nothing else can be
Okay.
done.
That's all I have.
I do want to get a price on a metal door similar to that door for the basement of the library. The one down the steps, Ben,
Yeah.
I think it's all rotted out, and it's a wooden door, and I think that's the correct door to put on it, with a little window like that. So we need to get some prices on that,
Okay,
that's something we can do.
want me to get prices, or?
If you want, I could, I would have one of the public work, Adam or somebody do it, but they're really straight out. right
Yeah,
now,
well, that's
so
what I
we-
say, yeah. I can go to Shazy Hardware and get a quote,
Well, where do we get this one from?
who knows?
Maybe sample. I don't know.
Probably sampled, I don't know, yeah.
And this one come with a package in the building?
No, there was a wooden one there before, a solid core wood
Oh,
door.
I see.
That one was replaced probably about, not too long ago,
Not too long ago.
8, 9 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
7, 8 years. Okay. Reports from other committees. Code Enforcement Officer Cooper, anything tonight?
Well, we're just a little busy. Everybody apparently dislikes their neighbors. I don't know what's going on, but very, very
Well, I'm
busy.
sure people are getting a little cabin fever and,
Some of the complaints are amazing.
yeah.
Go
Yep.
knock on the doors and that's all you can do, really.
Well, hopefully things will get back to normal here in another couple of weeks.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, there's nobody else from the public. I guess we need to go in recess for one executive session.
Make a motion for recess?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Can you turn the or somebody turn the camera off? And- You hear my boot?